Hi everyone, this is Kassie and these are the weekly tarot horoscopes for the week of December 19 to December 25. Don't forget that every day you can find in my channel the card of the day, which describes the general energies and the trends of the day. But if you are looking for a more personal and detailed tarot reading, one that is related to your particular situation and your needs and the predictions you wish to have for the future, you can always find me on my psychic platform www.kassiekai.com, where you will also get 3 free minutes with your subscription and extra 3 minutes every month. The deck we are using today is called the Alchemical Tarot. It's a deck with heavy alchemical symbolism. So if you like the occult and you want a deck that's more serious and more symbolic, I'm sure you will love this deck. If you want to check out last week's predictions, you can click on the link above. Let's get on with the predictions and see what next week has in store for us. For Aries, we had the Hierophant and now it's the King of Wands. The Hierophant is a rather heavy energy, if we can call it that, because the Hierophant is a major arcana card and it is associated with contracts, with agreements, but also with higher education or big companies, big organizations. So maybe you had to deal with such energies last week. But he also represents someone with power, someone with authority, who was probably very supportive of you. Maybe they helped you with something related to all those things I mentioned before. Or maybe it was someone who offered their knowledge, their experience. But the Hierophant is an earth card, and as an earth card, it's slow, which means that maybe last week movement developments were slow or there were delays. But now that's changing with the King of Wands, because the King of Wands is one of the fast cards in Tarot and shows fast developments, surprises maybe, and someone who will make moves that you probably don't expect, someone who will surprise you one way or another, and you will mirror back the same type of energy. In any case, you will have a busy week. For some, it will be a hectic week with too many things to do. The King of Wands is a fire sun or ascendant person, usually an Aries, but it could be a Leo or a Sagittarius, as wands are associated with fire signs. If you want to know how someone feels about you, there are warm feelings. As we said, the wands are fire cards, so there's warmth, there's passion, all those things that fire represents, sexual attraction. And this person will take action and show you that they are interested in you, because that's the modus operandi of wands. That's the way they act, that's the way they express their energy. They will take action to show you that they care, they will take action to show you they like you. So expect that if someone was a bit more guarded, more reserved last week with the Hierophant, this week they will become more outgoing, more social, more communicative. Communications will pick up too. So in general, you should expect a positive week and things will start speeding up. Kings in general have a time frame of 10 days, 2 weeks, but as we said, this one is a fast king. That's why things that will start this week will probably unfold and reach a culmination in 1 or 2 weeks. For Taurus, we had the Six of Swords and now it's the Ten of Wands. The Six of Swords is a card that shows you taking distance from a situation in order to gain a different perspective or to find your peace of mind, because usually the situation we are leaving behind under the energy of the Six of Swords is a stressful one that's causing us difficult negative feelings. And maybe last week you did that, but this week you have the Ten of Wands, which is exactly the opposite, in the sense that the Ten of Wands is a card that shows pressures, shows tension, shows stress, and that means you are revisiting this situation that you left behind last week. So maybe you took some distance for a few days and now you are going back to reassess something, to see whether you are happy to continue with it or not. If you want to know how someone feels about you, It appears that this person has too many responsibilities at the moment, too many things to do, too many demands on them. And for that reason, they are feeling very burdened. Maybe they are feeling burdened because they know that you have certain expectations from them that they cannot fulfill at this stage. And perhaps that will cause them to take some distance for a while. The Ten of Wands, as all tens, indicate the end of a stage. And since this is a card of pressure, it appears that something has to give, something needs to be released in a way that will allow you to pass to a calmer situation, to a situation that's more stable and more emotionally fulfilling, especially if this pressure is getting stronger and stronger. The Ten of Wands is Saturn in Sagittarius, and that means that this week there will be a clash between the desire to live your life to the fullest and the limitations something or someone will put in your way. However, intellectual endeavors are favored, so you will get an advantage if you are having exams or if you apply to a school or if you want to learn something new. Events between 13 and 20 December will probably come to a resolution or a completion within 10 days. Tens are the final stages of a situation, which means that the cycle is soon being completed and you are about to enter a new chapter. For Gemini, we had the Temperance and now it's the Ten of Cups. What this combination brings in mind is that good things come to those who wait. And that's because the Temperance is a slow card, it's a card of patience, it shows delays, slow energies. So perhaps last week you experienced energies that were not very fast, that were not very active. There were delays or things did not unfold the way you expected them to. But this week with the Ten of Cups, you will feel very satisfied with your progress, with what you will achieve, because the Ten of Cups is such a positive energy, a very good card, and it shows that the things finally start falling into place. You will also notice that people will start behaving, they will be more supportive, more helpful, and you will surely enjoy some very pleasant, some very joyful moments, especially when it comes to your personal or your family relationships. The Ten of Cups indicates a very successful completion of a stage, and you will get together with people you love and you will enjoy doing things you love with them, as that's a card of unity and happiness. You may even decide to take the next step in a relationship, as this 10 is associated with marriage, with engagement, and generally with more official manifestations of a relationship. But it can very well mean that you are making progress in a relationship regardless of whether it's official or not. If you're wondering how someone feels about you, they feel very happy to be with you. There are feelings of love. They want to spend time with you. They enjoy connecting with you. And feelings are getting stronger. And in general, there is improvement in any relationship. The Ten of Cups represents Mars in Pisces. And Mars is the planet of action. And it's also a fire planet. And that's why it does not feel very happy and very comfortable in the watery environment of Pisces. What that means is that because Mars is a planet of action, in this environment that he feels a little weird, he may not be very active, meaning there might be some delays. And that's also because the Ten of Cups is a passive card, it's a water card. But this is such a good week, and try to enjoy the good vibes, try to express yourself in ways that make you feel happy, try to do things that you love, and you will find that this is a very beneficial week if you want to promote the unity and the well-being of your family or of a community or a group you are part of. And it's a rather expansive energy, so if you are thinking of taking something to the next stage, professionally or personally, this week and the coming 10 days is a good time to do so. Cancer, we had the Tower and now it's the Emperor. The Tower is a rather disruptive energy and it usually manifests as events that are very unexpected, very shocking, or a truth that's being revealed, something that you didn't expect. But with the new knowledge, you can assess a situation without having illusions or without uncertainty. You know what is going on, and that allows you to make decisions that will be more beneficial for your future. Now, this week it's the Emperor, and the Emperor is a very different energy. It's basically stability, so it appears that the situation will get more stable this week, or something will get more structured. Energies, emotions will calm down a bit. However, if the issue is a personal relationship, it appears that there might be a struggle between emotions and logic. The Emperor is a strong male presence, possibly a fire sign, Aries, Leo or Sagittarius, and this person may be very supportive, very helpful, but in his negative manifestation may be very set in his ways, not willing to consider another's position, views or needs. So maybe you are dealing with someone who's stubborn, and the reason for that is probably that they have a very specific image in mind of how your relationship should be, an image that may not be exactly aligned with with your needs and your expectations from them. That means you may have to draw some boundaries if you feel that everything is on their terms. This person seems to have some control over you for one reason or another. Maybe they are more experienced, maybe they hold a higher position if you're dealing with a professional situation, a boss for instance, or perhaps the dynamics of your relationship with this person do not allow for a balanced interaction at the moment. If you've been expecting a document, a license, or the approval of a project, this week you will probably get it, and you will also have a strong ally by your side, someone who holds a position of power. So if you need help with practical matters, there will be someone who will be willing to help you. The strong days of this week seem to be Tuesday, which is the day of Mars, but also Thursday. So between Tuesday and Thursday, you will experience the energies of this card the most. If you want to know how someone feels about you, their feelings are getting more stable, more defined. So if a situation was vague or uncertain, this week you will find that they are making some moves that will bring more stability in your relationship. For Leo, we had the Empress, and now it's the Strength. The Empress is a card of love, a card of stability, of abundance. So perhaps last week you experienced some good vibes around your relationships, around love, or there was growth, progress to a project or a relationship. And this week you got the Strength, and the Strength means that you are stepping into your full power, and you will feel strong, determined. So this week you will feel that you have the power to make things the way you want them to be. You will feel that you can make things happen, and you will probably set your own terms, which is good, but not in an aggressive way, as that would not work out anyway, but in a way that shows how determined you are, and will show that you know what you want and that you are moving towards your goals with patience and perseverance. It will be very interesting to see how others will react, because you will probably show aspects of yourself that some of them are not aware of, and that could surprise them, your strength, your determination. If you're wondering how someone feels about you, their feelings are strong and there is a strong sexual attraction, but maybe they are a little reserved or they want to control things, and that could cause some power struggles in a professional or a personal situation. However, the good news is that there is a will to make effort, there's a desire to make things work, so we can take it from there and try to establish a strong base to build upon. The Strength is the card of Leo, your sign, so it's possible you will have dealings with another Leo, sun or ascendant, and that person may be very supportive and helpful. But if the dynamics of your relationship are those of contrasts and disagreements, you may find yourself in power struggles, especially if there's a sexual tension in your relationship and feelings are not expressed clearly. However expressed or not, sexual attraction will be strong, even if those desires and instincts are suppressed because of stubbornness or other reasons that do not allow them to come out in the open. The strong days of this week will be Saturday and Sunday, which is the day associated with Leo. For Virgo, we had the Queen of Wands, and now it's the Four of Cups. The Queen of Wands is a card of action, so maybe last week was too busy for you. Also, the Queen of Wands is someone who's a fire sign or ascendant person, and maybe you had to deal with a person who was very active, very optimistic, very outgoing, social. But this week seems to be slower and calmer because you got the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups shows energies will be slow and passive, developments will slow down, or you will put a break in action in order to take a breather and assess the situation in a more relaxed space. If you're wondering how someone feels, they find some sort of comfort in your connection, some sort of stability, because fours are associated with stability. However, excitement seems to be missing from this connection at the moment, so maybe it's stuck for too long and you may want to spice things up a bit. It appears that this person is very much affected by their moods, and at times they feel tired or apathetic, and that's why you should not be surprised if you find them to be completely unresponsive at times. Please know that's nothing to do with you, it's primarily their own issues and negative feelings that make them act in this way. The Four of Cups astrologically is the moon in Cancer, and that's a very strong placement for the moon because it is at its home. Which means that the changes and shifts the moon represents as it passes through its different phases need to be respected and accepted, which means there will be fluctuations when it comes to emotions, and the situation will shift and change all the time. So instead of taking action, have a time out, reflect on what is going on, relax, meditate, and reject those things that do not serve you anymore. Thursday seems to hold a special energy this week, especially when it comes to talks about feelings and relationships in general. For Libra, we had the Hanged Man, and this week it's the Ace of Pentacles. The Hanged Man is a stage when nothing much happens. It's a stage that things stand still, and there might be some dissatisfaction, negative feelings, some depression even. And the energies you had around you, the things that were offered to you, were things that you didn't like, options that you didn't like. And maybe you didn't feel like exploring much last week. But the situation is changing this week because things are getting different, still a little slow because the Ace of Pentacles is an Earth card, slow card. But there will be some sort of offer that you won't be able to refuse or to ignore. Someone will offer you something, will give you something, and there will be a new beginning or the opportunity to start something new. That could mean that you are putting a relationship on a new basis, or you are making effort to create something new within a relationship. Since Pentacles point to practical matters, I would expect that your main concern will be to improve the practical aspects of a relationship. How you share your time with someone, how much time you give them, what kind of plans you have for the future, and in that process you will be able to make your connection better than before, in ways that will be beneficial for both of you. The Ace of Pentacles is often a financial or professional offer, so someone may come to you with a very interesting offer that will improve your finances. Or someone may come to you with a very promising job offer. The beginning of the week holds the strongest energy, and it's around Monday or Tuesday that you will experience the energy of this ace the most. And if you want to know how someone feels about you, they are now more open to connecting with you. And since Pentacles are associated with the physical body, there will be more physical activities, more sex too, if you are at such a stage with them. The Ace of Pentacles shows positive feelings, so the person you are interested in has feelings for you. However, like I said, the Pentacles are slow, and the message here is that time and effort is needed for this to become something solid and long-lasting. For Scorpio, we had the Devil, and now it's the Page of Wands. The devil is a rather complex card because on the one hand we have the element of ambitions, of goals that you want to manifest in the material world, and the devil is a good energy for that. So maybe last week you achieved the goal, or something you wanted became a reality. But for some of you, the devil may show an obsession, an addiction, an obsession that may have to do with a person, with a certain thing that you want to get. But luckily this week the energies become lighter and easier, because this week you will get a very pleasant message or a phone call or even an unexpected visit that will make you feel good. The person you will connect with, who will probably be a fire sign or ascendant, Aries, Sagittarius or Leo, will be very youthful and will have a very positive energy, and their presence can be very inspiring and very motivating. If you want to know how someone feels about you, sexual energies are very strong, they feel very attracted to you. And maybe this person is new because the pages show new beginnings and fresh energy that comes into your life. And maybe that's a needed break after the seriousness and the heaviness of the previous week with the devil. Perhaps after a serious matter has been sorted, you now have the time to enjoy yourself by connecting with positive vibes and positive people. You will find that this week you will be very popular and invitations may come your way. You will feel very excited, ready to dress up and present yourself in a way that will be very attractive to others. And in fact, you will enjoy more attention this week as public relationships and connections are strengthened. A child or a very young person may require your attention and will play a significant role this week. So if you're a parent, expect a very nice surprise from your children, something that will make you feel very proud of them. The Page of Wands is a card traditionally associated with job offers and new beginnings in career, so if you are looking for a job, expect positive news this week, as your skills, experience and abilities will be mostly appreciated. This will be a busy week anyway, so you may find a new interest, a hobby, a new love interest. The only thing you need to be aware of is that the energy of this page and pages in general is very intense, enthusiastic. This is a fire energy, but it can be very easily spent, exhausted, which means that your interest for a particular activity, project, or person may be short-lived. And after a few days, you will realize that what appeared to be exciting isn't as interesting as it initially appeared to be. And since you probably are at the very early stages of development, you need to give something time to fully grow. The good news is that the Page of Wands, as all pages, shows potential, so whatever you decide to start this week can become a long-lasting situation as long as you are ready and willing to invest time and energy in it. For Sagittarius, we had the Emperor and now it's the Nine of Swords. The Emperor is a card of order, of structure, so perhaps last week something got more stable or more defined in some way, or you had to deal with an older man who's a fire sign, an Aries, a Leo or Sagittarius, usually Aries, but it could be the other fire signs too. And this week you have the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is not an easy energy, and it shows that whatever happened the previous days or the previous weeks must be causing you a lot of stress. Perhaps you are thinking to cut someone off, especially if you feel that your communication is not what it should be, because swords are associated with communication, with our thoughts, and perhaps your thoughts about a change that happened last week will gravitate towards negative. The Nine of Swords is one of the cards that are considered difficult in tarot, and it does show issues that need to be resolved, especially if you've been in denial about something or you feel that something is too complicated to deal with. However, this is also a card of great understanding and great clarity. Even if we are dealing with truths that we don't want to hear or we don't want to admit. If you want to know how someone feels about you, this person is rather distant at the moment and they feel that your communication is very hard. You don't understand each other's needs. The presence of this card shows that the area of communications is where you need to work with that particular person, because lack of understanding and lack of quality of communication is hurting you both. That's the energy of the Nine of Swords. It's our words, our communication, our thoughts that can hurt us, and you may want to put an end to that. Nines do show that you are headed towards an ending. Now, what kind of ending that might be is up to you to decide. And again, always remember that communication will help you make or break a relationship. The Nine of Swords is Mars in Gemini, and that means your words and your ability to communicate your thoughts is now very powerful, and so is your ability to manipulate through words. However, keep in mind that Mars can be unpredictable, so try to think before you speak to avoid conflict. Try to recall events that happened around early June, because these days something might be repeated, or a person that was in your life around that time may resurface. Capricorn, we had the King of Swords, and now it's the Moon. The King of Swords is someone in your life, a male who's most likely an air sun or ascendant, meaning Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, and maybe you had an interesting talk with that person, or they gave you explanations, or something became clear, because swords always like clarity, and they always wish to clear the air from any confusion or uncertainty. And now you have the Moon. The Moon is a very different energy. It's actually the opposite, because the Moon is a very intense emotional energy. With the Moon, emotions come and go like flood. And as you can imagine, that could be a little overwhelming at times. So don't be surprised if you have mood swings this week. The Moon is I know that some readers don't agree with that, but for me, the Moon is a very romantic card. But if you want to know how someone feels about you, it's the stage of romance that you don't know what's going on. And because of that, all kinds of insecurities may arise. It's very possible that this person doesn't know what they want or what is going on, and the feelings can be quite confusing. For instance, you like someone and you have no idea if they are available or if they are interested in you. Or maybe you're with someone that you can sense that they have commitment fears or insecurities. There's a difficulty to trust another. And all those issues will come out this week. But what I like about this card is that although it can stir all kinds of intense energies, at the same time, once the dust settles down and the waters will clear up, you will then come to a new clarity. The Moon has a 1-month cycle, and from now until mid-January, for another 28 days, give or take, you will be dealing with this issue, and you will be able to see all the different angles of it, all the different aspects of it. So try to see this time as a time that you can see things from all different perspectives, and decide if emotionally you can find a certainty, a balance within yourself, and transcend those fears. Analyze and resolve those unhealthy patterns that perhaps you are repeating in your relationships. The Moon is our subconscious, and it seems that now you will be doing deep inner work, and keep in mind that will be reflected on the outside world. Your reality, like I said, you will start seeing solid signs in the coming 4 weeks. Also, the strong day of this week seems to be Monday. That's the day of the Moon. So Monday and Tuesday will probably be the most interesting days of this week. For Aquarius, we had the Knight of Pentacles, and now it's the Seven of Pentacles. This is a week of slow energies. Pentacles are slow, so slow energies will continue, and you may find yourself feeling a little impatient because there seems to be a matter that's not moving as fast as you would like it to move, and you may even be wondering if it will ever happen anyway. Maybe you are losing faith in a particular relationship or a project or a plan, and you have made a lot of effort already. Maybe you have even tried to let it go, but there's still something in it for you and you are still holding on. The Seven of Pentacles is a stage when you feel that nothing is moving, nothing is progressing, and even though you're waiting patiently, you still haven't got the developments and the results you were hoping for. The Seven of Pentacles is Saturn in Taurus, and Saturn talks about restrictions, so you may feel that your freedom is somehow limited or restricted this week, and that could be because of practical issues you are facing, like money issues or work that does not allow you to move and act freely. But at the same time, this placement will give you seriousness in thinking, practicality, perseverance, and endurance. But that's not a good week to make drastic changes. It's best that you take things slow and watch the developments, because it's very possible that you are on the verge of a breakthrough, and maybe you will find it a good idea to not give up just before you start seeing results for your efforts. If you are wondering how someone feels, they probably feel frustrated, waiting for something to happen, and they are contemplating the situation, feeling a little uncertain about what to do. And it's clear that time is needed for things to unfold completely. So this week things will be slow and restricted, so try to distract yourself if you can with other things as this situation is still unfolding, and try not to obsess over when something will happen, as your own feelings of anxiety may hold things back in some way energetically. The end of the week seems to be the strongest, so it's between Friday and Sunday that you will get the most interesting developments. For Pisces, we had the Justice, and now it's the Temperance. The Justice is a card, of justice, so maybe you had to deal with legal matters, but it's also about doing the right thing, about finding the right balance between us and another person, between different needs, different situations. And now you have another card that says more or less the same thing. It's the Temperance. And this week you will have to somehow blend and combine two different energies. That means you and another may not be of the same opinion, or you will not have the same plans or agenda, and the need to find common ground this week will be very prominent. You will probably find yourself in a situation that needs constant adjustments, and that's why you should not be stubborn or rigid, as that's the sure way to destroy what you've been building all this time in your personal or professional life. But you should be willing to work with another in a harmonious way, and that will happen by taking their needs into account too, and also by avoiding extremes. The Temperance is a card of moderation, and under its influence, strong reactions and conflicts are not advisable. And it appears that there is a risk of conflicts or arguments, but you can prevent it from happening. This week will ask you to reassess whether a union, a cooperation, or a connection is equal, because there will be ups and downs and tribulations, and you may see that you are not on the same wavelength at the moment, and you will have to decide whether you can live with that, or if you just want to explore other options that are more in tune with your current vibration. The Temperance always suggests a need for healing, because that's one of the cards in Tarot associated with healing. So I wouldn't be surprised if you needed to slow down a little bit this week and look around you and allow yourself to absorb the current energies, to see where you're headed, and if the destination you're moving towards is where you really want to be, especially if you are healing after a breakup or after a big disruption that happened in your life. Also, if you are waiting for someone to return, the advice of this card is to not wait passively, because that will bring stagnation in your life, and you will feel like nothing's happening and like everything is stuck. You can always choose to keep your options open and keep working on getting the right elements for something to happen. If, for instance, you are looking for a new job or a new relationship, aim for the right position or the right person, and if you feel a resistance, then try something else and something else until you get it right. The Temperance is about waiting, but in a manner that's productive. If you want to know how someone feels about you, at the moment their feelings are not stable. They change and fluctuate between negative and positive, and that's because they haven't really made a decision about what they want to do. It appears that they are waiting for something to happen before they make a decision, and that might take some time, which means that your patience may be tested with them, as their pace is considerably slower than yours. But what you should examine is whether your expectations and needs are in alignment, and then decide whether it's worth waiting for or not. So these were the predictions for all signs for the week of December the 19th to December 25. I hope you find them useful, and I hope you have a great time in Christmas. See you next week.